Gamers of Reddit, what are some underrated games do you think more people should play? Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. It was one of Arcane Studios' earlier games, so fans of Prey and the Dishonored series might like it. The Sparks port was pretty weak in regards to the RPG element, since they made it all very streamlined for some reason. However, the original PC version gives you much more freedom to customize the protagonist. It runs off the source engine, so you know the physics will get whack as hell. Plus you have a kick ability to make it even more wackier, turning it into the adventures of Sir Kixalot as you launch orcs, goblins, and the 5 voice-aligned necromancer guards into spacules and off cliffs. Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction. It was GTA in North Korea. You could hijack anything and destroy any building and call in airstrikes. Truly ahead of its time. Never could beat the final mission, though. Regardless, amazing. I never played the first one, but I did play World in Flames, and I thought it was still to this day some of the most fun I've ever had. Too bad we never saw a third game come out. I played both, and I honestly think the first one is better. The graphics aren't as good as World in Flames, but I think World in Flames was just too easy. It was the grappling hook for stealing helicopters that kinda ruined it for me. I remember spending hours and hours taking turns playing the first one with my friend, and we would get so excited if we happened to drive past an outpost that had a helicopter parked at it we could steal. They were rare and hard to get, so it really made it more exciting when you did capture one. Nah mate, ya gotta throw a stun grenade and knock the driver out so the helicopter lands/crashes. I have played through Mercs 1 like 5 times and never thought to do that. Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. Was expecting the typical steaming turd from a movie-based game. Turned out to be surprisingly really good, 90% on Metacritic. It's because Vin Diesel doesn't duck around. He founded a game studio, so he could be part of the production, and not just providing a voice. He loves that franchise and he's a fan of gaming. He wasn't about to let the first Riddick game be some shovelware bullshit. Driver, San Francisco. Really cool game with a unique storyline. Sadly, it isn't available to the public anymore. Ghost Trick. Edit. Jesus Christ, didn't expect this to generate such intense reactions. GG guys. If you want a good overview of this game, watch Matt Thomatosis video about it on YouTube. He's the one that got me into it. If Ghost Trick was released on Steam, I'd be gifting it to strangers weekly. That game is a ducking masterpiece. Never heard of this. What's a brief overview? You're the lingering soul of a recently deceased individual and have the power to manipulate everyday objects and rewind time to 4 minutes before a person's imminent death. The goal of the game is to figure out how to change the environment around you to save certain people in danger, all the while slowly discovering who you once were, having lost most of your memories after death. This sounds like such a good concept. Wondering if I can pick it up somewhere in my country. Thanks. Edit. Thanks for telling me about the iOS version, and I love Missile the dog especially. They had a release on iOS for it. Not sure if they also released it for Android. You get to play through the first 2 chapters of the game for free also. Gun. It was a 360 launch title. I wanted remastered so badly. One of my faves. This game was amazing. I remember being disappointed that Red Dead Revolver was going to get a sequel, but Gun didn't. Little did I know that RDR was basically exactly I wanted in a Gun sequel. Bigger map, more quests, better gunfighting. I'm still sad that Redemption barely had any connection to Revolver. I ducking played through Red Dead Revolver probably close to 20 times as a kid, both with new and old save files. Hell, even just playing the multiplayer versus the bots was fun. For me it's got to be an old Sparks game called Metal Arms. It's a bit old now, but it's the shit. They were going to do a sequel, but the company was bought out, or bust or something. Loved that game on GamerCube. So much fun in split screen. One of the first games I played with my son when he was around 7 or 8. Good memories. Screen Cheat. It's a split screen multiplayer game that you play online. Every character is invisible, and the only way you can kill each other is by looking at each other's perspective. Hence Screen Cheat. Also some really funny additions into the game. E.g. A mode where every sound is replaced with an Australian going bugger. Cheap and hilarious. This really is a great game with friends. Awesome, I'll try it once I get some of those. A DLC is coming soon. Should be around the new Elder Scrolls game. So sometime in 2033. The future's good. The future's bright. The future's filled with love and light. Alas. There is one small dismay. It's really ducking for a way. Custom Robo on the GamerCube. I really wish Nintendo would make a new Custom Robo for the Switch. Custom Robo feels like the perfect game for online play, but it released when that wasn't really a thing. Custom Robo and F-Zero could both use a revival. My Summer Car. It's like a car driving simulator that takes place in 90s Dashie land. You build your car. In the meanwhile you do dumb shit driving around and interacting with all the drunk men in the map. You can get drunk too. Exclamation mark close bracket. Kinda a trashy game but still fun. Exclamation mark. r/Misamaka. The game is amazing simply because of how absurd it is. Want to drink and drive? Don't bother to install the passenger seat. Just put the beer there instead. Leave off the windshield to chuck bottles out the car. Drive a tractor to town to buy frozen pizza. Pee on a moose. Scream PERKEL at people while you pump sewage. Race people on a moped. Get hit by a train. Enjoy a sauna. It's an experience. Leave off the windshield to chuck bottles out the car. You shouldn't do this anymore. The creator added a feature pretty recently where, if you drive without a windshield, a bee might hit you in the face. You are allergic to bees, so your vision goes dark and you die. Simple. Just wear the motorcycle helmet then. Wait, but then that means you can't drink. Fuck. They worked out everything. Leave off the door and do a sharp turn to throw the bottles out. Champions of North on PS2. Been waiting for a remake forever. Loved it more than Baldur's Gate. Deadly Alliance. My wife and I must have played that game and its sequel for 100 hours. Edit. Also, no love for Armored Core series either. Damn lol, when I wasn't killing vampires in a black pit in Champions, I would destroy mechas in a parking garage. P. This game ruined my and my friend's high school GPA. I remember playing with my friend who was a level 50 archer, and after he died I picked up a rare level 50 bow, Myrmidon, then accidentally died as well, losing his ultimate bow forever. He was so upset about it lol. Import character. Drop bow. Oh no, it wasn't his to begin with. It was dropped from a monster, and he was dead, so I picked it up to give it to him later. Brave Fencer Musashi for the PS1. Edit. Never expected this comment to do so well, but thanks to everyone who commented and made me feel validated for my love of this game. Good memories. I remember loving the demo and playing it over and over. I couldn't believe it once I actually played the full game on emulator. How big it was. I played the hell out of the demo, but never got around to getting the full game. Might be time to give it a shot. God and I know, the gameplay is a little clunky, but I'll be damned if it isn't funny. Split Second. A very good racing game with the added element of trying to destroy the other drivers with explosions. Peas, you wrecked yourself. Came here to post this. That game is amazing. My favorite racing game ever. Oh, you are leading the race? It would be a shame if a collapsed at a kingdom on your ass. Ike. You can find it on the Xbox Game Pass. Shame the studios which made it ended up being shut down. They are called Short Round Games now, and they still make games. They made one for the PS4 recently, if I'm not wrong. Oh, cool. I had no idea. Thanks for the update. Kenshi. It's kind of a fucked up dystopian game that takes place in some barren hellhole. Not your typical AAA titles. More PC and independent. Lower budget, but as a gaming experience, I think it captures the very essence of what an organic gaming experience to be. The game itself is kind of this fucked up scenario and places you in the middle of it. Rise or fall, it almost feels like it's up to fate. But the cool thing is that your player gets stronger with repetition. So as long as you're alive, you've got a shot. Even if you're bleeding, limbless, and crawling great distances starving. A scenario all too common in Kenshi. Kenshi is awesome, especially considering it was mostly done by a single dude over the course of 12 years. He is working on Kenshi 2 BTW. you'll like the game. If you don't like being held by the hand in games, it's an extremely rewarding role-playing game that lets you basically do everything with all the consequences involved. You might end up enslaved, close bracket, or it's a survivalist colony managing game that reminded me of RimWorld at times. The only thing I found limiting is the replayability. I mean, the map is huge, and it will take you a long time until you have explored everything. But when you have, a game is basically over. To add on to games that don't hold your hand, if you play OSRS or like games like that, then this game is for you. Lots to discover and figure out, just like the first time you got out of Tutorial Island. Lots of skills, grinding, PVM, crafting/equipment, and lots of economy type things that happen. I always loved how RuneScape had like 20 plus skills, and Kenshi is no different. Currently playing Path of Exile again. Holy duck, am I sucked back into the vortex. Super addicting once you get into it. Gene Dark on the PSP was fucking fantastic. I hoped for a sequel or at least another game from the developers. It's honestly the only reason I haven't sold my PSP. Level 5. The devs of the game have made lots of other games though, no SRPGs like Gene Dark. Level 5 is just weird, man. The best thing about them is that there's no limit to what they make. English gentlemen solving puzzles, little children traveling through time on a school bus to merge with historical characters, to play magical soccer better, magical watch that lets you see ghosts, but also transcends time and space and lets you warp around, monsters that appear only on Fridays, but you have to play card games to tame them. The list goes on. Shelter and Shelter 2. Simultaneously the most relaxing and stressful games I've ever played. So gorgeous, and the soundtrack is stunning. They're honestly works of art. Edit. I also forgot to mention Shelter 3 is coming out soon. And this one follows a herd of elephants, and I'm so excited. I bought them both, played the first, and did the whole thing, and then one of my babies got eaten in the night and I literally have never started them again. I could not take it. OMG. I named my babies after my actual cats, and when one of them died I realized what a mistake that was. West of Loathing. Looks at medical tent. That's where they do math. Lost it. I'd say it's a big plus. Thanks. I was staring at the joke like a dumbass until you came along. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Such a unique experience / gamma play that I haven't seen since. Also the theme song is hype. The Nonary Games plus Zero Time Dilemma. Fantastic puzzle / escape room game series. I love the story, though some find it a bit out there. These games have a masterful way of making abstract game mechanics plot relevant without you even noticing it. Shame the best one, the big reveal in 999, only really works on the DS version. The second Viva Pinata game. The Advanced Wars games, almost fully overshadowed by the Fire Emblem series. Both were made by Intelligent Systems. What I would give for an Advance Wars game on mobile, and a real Fire Emblem game instead of the gacha bastardization that is Heroes. Golden Sun and Golden Sun, The Lost Age. Two of the best RPG games I have ever played, and they need to make another one for Switch. Please make it happen, Nintendo. No shit. I feel like a ton of JRPGs I've played over the years never live up to Golden Sun. That game is the best of the best. Great story, unique combat, beautiful world, completely interactive locations, something lacking from nearly every JRPG. Stellar Ost. Unlocking secrets around the world actually meant something, and the Jin system is perfect. The first two still hold up today as great games. Sad that they botched the third, but I'd kill for a new game on the Switch. Van 11 Hallway. It's a pretty darn chill game set in the future where you play as a bartender and mix drinks. The gameplay is quite simply, and the characters are pretty interesting. That, and Xenosaga 1, 2, 3 and Ace Combat 3 through 7. Close bracket. The Van 11 Hallway / Girls Frontline collaboration was really well done. Got me started on playing Van 11 Hallway itself. Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. I love JRPGs and this was one of the first from a property I actually recognized and could relate to. The playable characters are original and the story walks hand in hand with the films, bringing in tons of nostalgic fights. I recently did a playthrough of that game on an old PS2. still holds up. Is that the one where you play a party that sort of follows in the wake of the Fellowship? Think it had a player character from Rohan that used a spear. If so, I remember that one was absolutely legit. That's the one. Eoden was the spear guy, and he had some spirit ability as well for buff/debuff psych. He had a debuff that removed the armor rating from enemies. I recall this making the game a million times easier, especially because he had this triple spear attack that, surprise, was super effective against unarmored opponents. I know that a lot of people still play it on PC, it's dead and neutered on consoles, but no mainstream war FPS has ever really truly delivered like PlanetSide. A very large battle, shifting fronts, wheel sneak attacks, infrastructure, dropships, tanks, aircraft, open fields, cramped bases, actual long-range snipers, you name it. You actually took territory, and it was all persistent. Not just the same 5 capture points but hundreds. There was no better experience than fending off an unorganized wave attack with a team of good communicating players. Every time I see a new battlefield, or Cody, or whatever, it's still not going to touch it. It might look better and play smoother, but it won't capture that experience. I love feeling that cog in the machine feeling. I remember the first time I played that game I was a part of an infantry charge on an outpost and there was a hill in front of us blocking the view. But we could hear a cacophony of gunfire and explosions coming from the other side. There were tanks and APCs rolling past into battle. And just before we crested the hill a pair of gunships flew overhead and did a missile run on targets just out of view. It was the most thrilling thing I had ever seen in a game and a feeling I have yet to recreate in any other game. Of course, right as I crested the hill and saw actual combat I was immediately one shot in the head by a sniper lol. I was part of a VS, Purple, infantry rush on a NC, Blue, fort that started just after sundown. For those of you who don't know, the VS all use laser weapons. So there I am, charging across a salt flat that's lit up like a rave. Lasers are flying all over the place. Things are exploding. And I'm in the middle of it all hoping some of the medics survive the sprint to the fort wall. Good times. As a long-time NC medic, those charges were a completely different beast as a medic. All you can do is hope that you have enough guys when you get to wherever that you can get more up than those Takinvanu snipers, bastards, can put down. Between PlanetSide 2 and Battlefield 4 they have my favorite non-scripted moments in gaming. Super Robot War. For some reason, it just never picked up steam, nor is mainstream in America. But if you like turn-based tactics games, high degree of stats customization, multiple game paths, and friggin' kikos-mekos, you need to check this out. The biggest reason that they don't bring it over to the US is because of all of the licenses they would have to pursue over here to be able to put the game out. With all of the different series and companies they'd need to talk to and make deals with, it's not viable to do. Super happy that they were able to release it in C though. I picked up a copy of V and it only took me 2 hours to figure out how to redeem the DLC LMAO. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. UT here around Shamo 9 batters. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.